Hi! It has been so long since I recorded a video. My desk is now in a different spot. Hopefully the background isn't too cluttered. I don't have a lot of shelves and shit going on back there. But, it's a new angle. It's a new perspective of my room that you never had before. So I'm recording a video today to discuss university, because I just finished my second week at college, and I have thoughts, I suppose, that I like to share and document for myself and for my friends on my YouTube channel. So far, I really liked the experience. It's so early in, I can't tell yet, because I've yet to experience the absolute brunt of college stress. But so far, the schedule is just so much more open than our high school schedule was, and for that I am super grateful. I love having a few hours in between two classes, and I'm able to just walk home, and I have lunch there, I can get some work on homework done, note-taking, and so far my schedule's been pretty sweet for these past 2 weeks, and I'm excited about the future. I'm glad that a lot of people seem a lot more open to speaking to new people than maybe in high school, where for some reason everyone was just a little bit hostile. What's going on in your life? It's high school. That's what's going on in your life. But generally, and maybe it's because it's so early on, and I'm speaking mostly other freshmen, but generally people are so much more open. I think it's just because there's no, really established friend groups or anything. And so that's been great. I really appreciate that. I also love the, campus culture, how many just, random bullshit is going on campus all the time, and how many resources are available. I think that's really, great. It feels like you're in a little city where everyone's a liberal. You know what I mean? So far, the issues I've seen are that, just with the access to every future assignment and due date on the syllabi, I feel like there's an aspect of just, an unending stress, just because, even when you're done with all the stuff that's gonna be due that week, you kind of anticipate the future, and you want to keep working on assignments, and there's just an element of, there's no satisfaction in completing your work, maybe, as much as there is in high school, when once you reach the bottom of your to-do list, you're basically done. So that's one thing I'm worried about my ability to handle. That's just something I'm going to have to come to accept, emotionally. So I'm sure I'll get the hang of that. It's only just today I was working on some classwork, and I just had this, feeling of stress in my chest of, oh, there's so much I want to do. And it's I have a 3-day weekend. I don't have classes on Friday. It's fucking sweet, and I need to relax a little bit. But also, not too much, because I should be working ahead. So far, it seems like staying on top of your work isn't going to be the hardest thing for me. At least this year. Obviously, I'm a freshman this year. It's only my first semester. I can't truly speak to the university experience because I'm just so early on in it. But I think my school, particularly my lovely psychology teacher, my high school did a wonderful job at preparing me for college and doing all that, because I think I've established a workflow that works for me and a note-taking process that works for me. And I think as long as you understand yourself and how you learn and how you study, it's not going to be the worst for you. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's people who don't work well under the school system, and people who weren't afforded resources to be able to learn how they work and how they study and how they can cope with the stress of school. There is an inherent stress to school no matter how good you are. And I was always fortunate enough to be a pretty quick learner, you know? I never struggled immensely in school beyond anything beyond math. And for a lot of my life, I had just had trouble going up to a teacher or reaching out to a teacher or raising my hand. And so that was also, that social aspect made school hard at times. But yeah, honestly, I think as long as you're in an environment where there's lots of support and there's people who understand what your issues are and who can help you work through that, there's always a way to deal with the load you're given. It's not unreasonable, at least in my experience, in my scenario this early on. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I feel like it's not that I've learned stuff in my classes yet. Like, I have, but it's a lot of review of stuff I learned in high school or I know in life, just like socio-culturally, just like online and with the stuff I watch. But so far so good. On my first day in each of my classes, I would draw the instructor, like a little portrait of them. And so now I'm going to go over each individual class and share my thoughts, just in a diary sort of way. And I'll put the little drawing on screen here. So for my math class, I'm taking an introductory stats class because I'm a psychology major and statistics are important. And I took a statistics and probability class last year in my senior year of high school. And so far, so good. I'm glad that a lot of it is, what's it called? Review for me. Because, honestly, even with this, like, super nice $60 interactive textbook we have, just looking at the text, how I interact with the textbook, I'll read it, I'll do the activities, and I'll take notes, and then going into class and hearing the guy lecture, I don't know if I could learn it from scratch and understand it very well. I get it right now because I'm already familiar with these concepts, you know, but I'm kind of worried for future math classes where I don't have as strong of a basis. So, hopefully I'm okay in the come future. With this instructor, he's kind of a younger guy. Like, I'd say really late 20s, maybe 30, mid-30s, early 30s. I don't know. The guy's cool, though. The funny thing about him is that he always seems kind of nervous. And he's not super confident in his instruction. And so that maybe is what's taking away from my confidence in my ability to learn in that class if it were not review for me. I don't know. He said he's in his, like, 5th year at UCLA getting his master's or whatever. But yeah, I think he still needs some teaching experience. That's what I'm thinking. Next is my African American Studies class. I have this professor, and they're not black, which is okay. They're half white and half Vietnamese on their mom's side, and I felt a little connection there because I'm half white on my dad's side, half Thai on my mom's side, and so in my mind there's a little kinship, which is sweet. They're super amiable. They have experience. They're a sociology major, and they handle a lot of the ethnic studies classes in my college. And yeah, I mean, it's a super friendly class. It's not like inducive of talking in the way that the next class I'm going to talk about is, but it's really welcoming to sharing ideas. And even if someone says something that's like low-key kind of wrong when they raise their hand, they'll like expound upon the student's answer in a way that's correct and makes you understand it. And so I like, for my communications class, the teacher, she is so freaking nice. And she's like very sweet. She makes the classroom a very open environment, which is great for a communications class, because we're going to have to be giving speeches here. And so far she's sort of created an environment that's like, that makes you kind of want to share, raise your hand and share. And she's done a few activities where you speak to your fellow students, and I think it's made a welcoming environment that I'm excited to explore. However, it can't be said the same for the next class, the argumentation class. This guy, he's fine. I've only had 2 bald teachers in my life, and they both acted like this. So, I think I'm making a new stereotype in my mind. The class is super silent. he's a decent teacher. It's the only class I've had this semester where low-key, like, even if I try to pay attention to the lecture, I just can't. I'll start, my mind will wander off, I'll get sleepy, I'll start yawning and rubbing my eyes. So that's irksome. We've had one, like, practice activity where we kind of make arguments with a small group of, like, 5 or something. And so far, I'm pretty excited to talk to my students more, my fellow students more, my classmates. Because I think everyone there is kind of open to what they have to do. I think everyone's a little bit nervous about the debate aspect of it. And so that just kind of makes it feel less intense. So I'm not super fond of how the professor has gone about making the class for a freaking argumentation class, but it's not a big deal. And lastly, I have the cinema class. It's American cinema, the beginnings to 1945. So it's basically mostly all silent films, ending around World War II. So eventually we will reach sound, but right now, lots of silent films, which I'm not new to. I've seen some silent films, but I never really fully delved into it. So this is kind of a very exciting opportunity to watch more old stuff and be able to have a more critical eye and understand the filmmaking process and the history behind it a lot more. So for someone who's like kind of interested in film like me, that's exciting, and I am glad for that. The teacher, she was super intimidating the first day while we were going over the syllabus, but the more and more I'm in that class, it's not as bad, you know? Like, she's the kind of person who, when you confront her, she's kind of unwavering in a way that's super intimidating. She's like this Italian immigrant lady who's, pretentious. She's pretentious, but what do you expect from a cinema instructor? And I like her. She's, you know, once you're actually in it and you're able to comprehensively answer her questions, she's amiable and she's pretty funny, and I like her. I think she's interesting, and I'm excited for that class. And it's not one where you get to chit-chat among your fellow students very much, but you sit at a table with another person, and there's a lot of raising your hand and answering. She distinctly said, it's not a lecture class, you know, so there has to be lots of discussion. And I'm excited because there was, like, this time yesterday when we had this class where, like, we were all just raising our hands because we got into a discussion about how a film portrayed, like, immigrating and the American dream that occurs hypothetically. And we just really got going talking about it. And we were just all, like, really excited to raise our hands. And that is just, like, the best, most amazing feeling in a classroom. It's just, like, also conductive. And I had that feeling in the class in, like, you know, English classes in high school, where we would read the literature and then just, like, we'd all get going, raising our hands and sharing our interpretations. And that's just the best freaking feeling. And that's what I live for in education. So I'm excited about that class. I'm excited to learn. There's a girl that I've sat next to the last 2 times I've had this class. It's a once-a-week thing. And she seems super sweet, and I hope we get to talk more, because I like her. So yeah, those are my classes. Those are my feelings and my thoughts. And I just wanted to share this update, because I'm excited, and I think it'd be cute to look back later on, when I'm older and more seasoned, and I can look back at this as if it were a diary entry. So yeah. Thanks, bye!